name is Sylvia Ishegbe.
I am Makcit Rindap.
And my name is Ehi Ohiani.
Now The Update is a show or a program where we highlight some of the latest news making headlines. We bring to the table issues of concern and share perspectives to get feedback from you, our audience.
Here are some of the headlines that are making the rounds and trending right now in Nigeria.
Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, extends ongoing strike for another 2 months. Federal government says it will not enter into agreements with ASU under duress. NDLEA traces 4.2 billion naira to the accounts of Abba Kyari and partners. Abba Kyari's wife reportedly slumps in court after judge defers bail hearing. Negotiations on fuel subsidy removal with Labour still ongoing, says FG. Nigerians cry out as petrol scarcity persists despite FG's importation of 120 million litres of petrol. Nigerian Correctional Service spokesperson explains why Chidinma Ojukwu, who is standing trial for the murder of Michael Usifo Ataga, was allowed to contest and be crowned Miss Cell 2022. Lagos Magistrate Court orders remand of BRT driver Andrew Omnikoron, suspected to be involved in the murder of his 22-year-old passenger Bamise, in prison for 30 days. Nigerians react as Lagos-bound train runs out of fuel in the middle of nowhere. FCT residents lament power blackout, urges federal government to intervene as they count their losses. These are some of the headlines making rounds. Drop your comments on our various social media platforms and let us know your thoughts.
Of course, you can follow and comment on Twitter. We are Click Naija 1, same as Instagram. And on Facebook and YouTube, we are Click Naija.
So have you had to deal with fuel attendants this period? I'm asking because just take a look at this picture. Okay, the attendant with the macho fuel attendant.
They are the kings now, kings and queens actually.
Yeah.
Some of these pictures actually just go viral. People are going through a lot and trying to make things lighter for themselves. Nigerians always try to find the fun side of things. And this funny picture just made it to the internet where this guy all puffed up and they just inscribed there fuel attendants right now.
Yes.
They're like the lords and the kings, with a lot of attitude. But please share your experience with us. Drop your comments. You might have your own very interesting, experience with fuel attendants this period. And the fuel queues are supposed to have gone down, but it looks like they are back.
Yeah.
They are still there.
The last week it only went away for like a few hours.
Really, just a few hours, because the moment
back.
someone told me, oh, there's fuel here, I went to those places and there were queues already. Like it wasn't as empty as I expected.
Maybe they called, some other persons called other people.
Other people,
so
yes.
you went and met them there. So talking about scarcity and all that, we saw the trending video online where a train that was going to Lagos or Lagos bound from Ibadan got stuck or got stopped in the middle of nowhere on the Lagos-Ibadan express train railway. And the guy who did the video actually just videoed it, and he was saying something really funny. He was saying, in case you are planning to have a private train, like we have private jets these days, in case you are planning to have a private train, this is how to refuel it. It's a situation that was worrisome, kind of, because
and very embarrassing.
Yes,
very,
because you could see the logo of the Nigeria Railway Corporation showing very glaringly. So the question of why would such a thing happen came up, and we got some answers along the way, or during the week. The managing director of the train services said that the train gauge got spoiled, or it was faulty, and that was the reason why they didn't know that the diesel had gone down. So I was now wondering, okay, so where did they get that barrel from? The barrel of diesel they were rolling, do they usually have extra? because also like trains don't stop on the way to
refuel.
Because that was fast. They said it took them like an hour before those people came to refuel.
So it was when they came that the guy started to video to record. That was another scare again with that situation is the security part of it, or the security challenge, because imagine that happening in some other parts of the country.
I actually thought of that. Like, imagine it happened, in the Kaduna route,
Kaduna Abuja
route. I mean, it would have probably been a different story, even though something similar happened when they were attacked at some point. But imagine that this was like human error, where this could have been avoided, and let's say it escalated into something else. I mean, we really should avoid such scenarios repeating themselves.
Yes, and I think the explanation that the train gauge was bad sounds like an explanation, but it still calls to question the maintenance of those trains.
True.
There should be some maintenance checks or some routines that are checked off or clicked off before they leave the train station. Things like gauge or whatever else shouldn't be having such problems.
And I mean, people are like, okay, with the fuel scarcity and all these things, I mean, that like for every sector, everybody, like diesel, jet A1, fuel and all that, everything has gone up.
Yes.
So people are even like, imagine if this was a plane, for instance. What would
where
be
the
the
gauge
excuse?
was bad.
Do you understand? How would you explain them running out of fuel in the air?
It sounds laughable now because they are still on the land,
Yes.
and they could roll a barrel of fuel, of diesel to that place. If it was a plane, there's nothing like rolling anything. Something else will be rolling.
I mean, yes, sadly.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
I just thought
let
of
it not
that
happen
now.
again.
No, it shouldn't happen.
It's not.
Okay, we move on to the next story. The BRT bus murder. Now the story so far is that the driver, Andrew is his name, has been arrested and remanded in prison for 30 days, pending the outcome of the investigation. And also the Lagos State Governor has warned people not to board BRT buses that don't have inner lights at night, right?
Yes, and there was an explanation for why their lights actually go off at night.
Yes,
right?
the explanation was that when the bus inner lights are off, it means that driver has clocked off for the day. He's closing for the day. His conductor he has alighted. Every other person who's working with him are not supposed to be with him anymore, which means that even the monitoring system of that bus is turned off. So he's just going to park the bus. So it is not the bus for you to board
be boarding anywhere
at that time. So, and then the thing is, are those buses 24 hours? Again, is it enough to, I mean, if you board a bus that has an inner light, does that mean that this kind of thing will not happen?
So they should have cameras installed inside the buses, and maybe the buses now clocking up, like you said, shouldn't happen while they're still on the road. When they get to the park, they should turn it off or clock off.
Yes. But the thing is, even like that, it's just unfortunate that this thing happened with Bamise, and I guess fortunately for us now that she was proactive enough, to send out an SOS to her friend, send voice notes of things that were going wrong. Because immediately she entered, she said it just seemed off. She said she even, alerted to the guy to the fact that there are passengers, aren't you picking anyone else? And the guy said, now only you are, they carry you.
That was a huge red flag.
I mean, and now after this scenario, other people have come out to say he tried to rape me. Someone else said he actually raped me. Between November and December of 2021.
Even the girl who called, the person she was communicating with said she heard when she called, when Bamise's data was off,
the message were not delivering,
that
so
she
she
heard
called,
panting or something like that.
A male voice for a few seconds, and then they just ended the call immediately. I actually read an interview they did with her older brother, who she was actually going to see. Because she spoke with her brother's wife, a pregnant wife, that she was coming over to their house to spend the weekend and just stay with them for some time. So he said that the sad part is they were looking for Bamise, they did not know where she was. Meanwhile, her body had been found and taken
to the morgue.
Yes, the police had been taken to the morgue, but they were not even allowed to see the body, that because they said they were conducting investigations. it's just unfortunate, honestly.
It is really unfortunate.
That this happened.
But thank God that, like we're saying, break the bias now, and we've also had break the silence. Thank God that other ladies are also coming to speak up, because if we don't speak up, then crime will continue to go unnoticed and unpunished. Okay. Another thing is, I'm not sure if those ladies, the ones that are coming up to speak now, had reported this to the police, because if they had, then what could have been done about this? Probably Bamise wouldn't have had to die.
Yes.
So I think it's just a call for us to speak where we need to speak, but it's never too late. It's good that they've spoken up now, and it's also good that Bamise had this good communication with her friend as well. The security operatives need to step up to let people know how to use these gadgets even more for their own safety. Because I think there should be something like a short code, because at those kinds of terrible conditions, making a call is not the easiest thing to do. You probably just want to send an SOS to a short code or a number that is free, that just alerts generally,
and a way to track your location too. If they need to follow you and know where you're being taken, so that they can always catch up with the perpetrators of whatever acts they want to do.
All right, so we also have the story of suspected killer of Super TV CEO Chidinma Ojukwu
winning Miss in prison. And the reactions that have trailed this has been from one end to the other. Like, people have had different reactions, but majorly people are saying that why should an alleged murderer be able to contest in this pageant and even win, to the point that it is publicized for the public to see, and then inadvertently now the family of the deceased are also seeing it. So, like, how does this make them feel? I know people went on and on about this.
I personally think it's a case of insensitivity on the side of the prison authorities, because yes, you might have these activities to put your inmates in a good frame of mind, but don't forget that these inmates, those especially alleged or allegedly, have also denied some other persons their rights, their fundamental human rights to even live in the first place. So you can't be giving them presidential treatment the way you would have done for a normal beauty pageant outside, outside the walls of the prison. And I also know that when you have those kinds of things in the prison, there is whatever it is that they are using, like maybe the makeup, their wares and all that, are made by the inmates themselves. It's part of the activities.
Oh, they don't have to supply it from outside.
Well, if you supply it, then what's the difference between them and Miss Nigeria? Yes.
Makeup. They can make makeup.
But I mean,
the lady. So that is it. That is the rehabilitation, because when you get those ladies, working, being creative, putting their creative work into making the dresses themselves, doing the makeup, you give them you give them all the materials, but they would make those makeup by themselves. They would do all the hair by themselves. But what we saw, I don't know. Maybe the prison authorities can come and challenge that.
This is what he said. The PRO of the correctional facility, Rotimi Oladoku, he said, well, all the inmates in different cell blocks presented various programs. So some did theater presentation, others drama, some poetry, some beauty pageants, some drawings.
So why didn't we see the winner of the poetry competition on national TV?
Okay, so they also said that this particular one now, having this pageant, Miss Cell, was also to commemorate the International Women's Day.
I do not think, I'm sorry, no. You can't be breaking the bias with somebody who has, you see, I don't know. Let's
not, aside from breaking the bias, it was, I don't know whether it's the same time every year they hold this pageant,
yes.
But it's from what they've said.
The Women's Month.
They always have the pageants.
Okay.
Do you understand? So now this one, I guess for me, based on what some Nigerians have said, the fact that it was televised.
Exactly, that's part of it.
Was part of the insensitivity, and maybe I could agree with that a bit. But personally, I don't see anything wrong with them having the pageant. And also saying why did Chidinma win? It's not like so it was doctored. I mean, we can't say it was
Are you
doctored.
sure?
Okay.
How would you know that it wasn't
We
doctored?
can't say it was doctored because I mean there'll always be judges, and the judges will probably be among the wardens, among
for the
whatever,
fact
among
that
the inmates probably.
see, there are a lot of people who committed crimes that are probably worse than that of Chidinma. So
Mm-hmm.
this is where the insensitivity comes in. This is where you have law and then you have your ethical practices.
Feel free to drop your thoughts on this issue, the emergence of Chidinma as Miss 2022. What are your thoughts? What are your takes? Please drop your comments, and then we would react when we see them. Yeah? Okay, that's the much we can take on the show today. We'll be back again for another interesting edition of course, the updates. My name is Sylvia Ishegbe.
I am Makcit Rindap.
And my name is Ehi Ohiani.
Thank you for staying with
Bye.
us. Bye.